The dead have never been so funny. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Afterlife comedies.
Hey man, didn't you get the news? We're about to die.
It doesn't matter, I die all the time.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at movie and TV comedies that focus on characters that live, work, or pass through the afterlife. However, while the Ricky Gervais Netflix series may be called Afterlife, it is not in fact about the afterlife, so you won't be seeing it here. Also, a spoiler alert is now in effect.
So how are you?
A good day is when I don't go around wanting to shoot random strangers in the face and then turn the gun on myself.
Bad then.
Number 10, Miracle Workers. This hilarious comedy attempts to answer a question that's been plaguing humanity for centuries. What if God gave up on the earth?
God, I know it's been a rough few thousand years, but I think you're being too hard on yourself. You know, you've still got a lot of fans down there.
Not like before. Do you know how long it's been since someone sacrificed a ram to me?
I thought that grossed you out.
You know it did, but at the same time, there was something nice about it.
Starring Steve Buscemi as the creator, the series is set in the heavens and focuses on Craig, an angel in charge of answering prayers.
You think what I do is small and stupid and insignificant.
Along with his new colleague Eliza, the two angels attempt to save the world from destruction.
If I answer one of these impossible prayers, you spare Earth.
All right.
Featuring Daniel Radcliffe as Craig and newcomer Geraldine Viswanathan as Eliza, the show is a quirky and unique examination of the afterlife, with all its departments, memos, and staff meetings.
I need you to taste test all of these gumbos immediately. They range from very thick to almost solid.
Number 9, Death Becomes Her. A black comedy starring Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn and directed by Robert Zemeckis? Yes, please.
Where did you put my wife?
She's dead, sir. They took her to the morgue.
The morgue? She'll be furious.
This film may not have won over the critics when it was released in 1992, but it took home the Oscar for Best Visual Effects and has since become a cult classic in celluloid circles. The film revolves around two women who drink a magic potion that grants them everlasting life.
Bottoms up.
Now a warning.
Unfortunately, the potion doesn't exactly keep their bodies in tip-top shape, requiring them to seek the services of a reconstructive mortician played by Bruce Willis. Streep and company are more than happy to chew the scenery on this bonkers film, playing up their characters' darker sides. The result is a devilish, if somewhat nutty, comedic romp.
You're a fraud, Helen. You're a walking lie, and I can see right through you.
Number 8, Dead Like Me. We'll give the title of Most Unique Way to Die to Dead Like Me's George, a sardonic 18-year-old who leaves this plane of existence thanks to a toilet seat sent plummeting to Earth by the Mir space station.
They say your entire life flashes in front of your eyes the moment before you die. That might be true if you're terminally ill or your parachute doesn't open. But if death sneaks up on you, the only thing you have time to think is, aw, shit.
And does George get to enjoy a quiet retirement-like existence in the afterlife? Nope. She's given a job as a Grim Reaper, with a quota of souls to collect and everything. Fortunately, she's got Mandy Patinkin's Rube to guide her through her adjustment period and offer some much-needed wisdom along the way.
If you don't take her soul, it's going to wither and die and rot inside her. I've seen it happen.
Sadly, this Showtime comedy drama lasted only 2 seasons, but in that time, it asked many questions about life, grief, and how death affects those left behind as much as those killed. Number 7, Casper.
I can see right through you. Kind of happens when you don't have any skin.
Who'd have thought that a live-action remake of a cartoon from the 40s would wind up grossing almost $300 million at the box office? The film version tells the story of Casper, a ghost who becomes smitten with the daughter of a paranormal investigator he sees on TV.
There's a girl on my bed
Featuring memorable performances from Bill Pullman and a young Christina Ricci, Casper became a favorite of the 90s VHS era and would ultimately spawn a TV series and multiple video games.
Casper, I'm gonna be alive.
Casper is first and foremost a family film, but there are enough jokes crammed in to keep the adults sufficiently entertained throughout.
I told you I was a good dancer. Can I keep you? Casper?
Number 6. Defending Your Life. Written, directed by, and starring comedian Albert Brooks, Defending Your Life is a lighthearted take on the age-old question of what happens after we die.
Come to me.
In Brooks' world, the recently deceased are sent to Judgment City, where their lives are put under a microscope to determine whether or not they're worthy of advancing to the next stage of existence.
Oh, there's a nice-looking young man over there. Hi, how'd you die?
On stage, like you.
The film is an introspective, if lighthearted, examination of the afterlife, fear, love, and heavenly restaurants where you can consume as much as you like and never gain weight.
I can eat all I want?
Eat everything. Take care.
Roger Ebert called the film, quote, funny in a warm, fuzzy way. And we're inclined to agree, as the film is guaranteed to leave you with a smile on your face.
Where were you? I'm just curious.
I tell you, but you wouldn't understand.
Don't treat me like a moron. Try me.
I was trapped near the inner circle of thought.
I don't understand.
I told you.
Number 5. Pushing Daisies. This quirky, short-lived series was noted for its distinct visual style and humor.
But there was one more thing about touching dead things that young Ned didn't know, and he learned it in the most unfortunate way.
Developed by Hannibal and American Gods showrunner Brian Fuller, Pushing Daisies was as inventive a show about death as you could find in the later 2000s.
You touch murder victims, you ask who killed them, you touch them again, they go back to being dead, and then you collect the reward?
That's it in a nutshell.
Named one of Time magazine's top 10 new TV series of 2007, the show focused on Ned, a pie maker who could bring people back to life with the touch of a finger.
I'm not a detective. I make pies.
You can't just touch somebody's life and be done with it.
Yes, I can. That's how I roll.
Unfortunately, playing God has its drawbacks, with the primary one in this case being that Ned's second touch kills them forever. Dripping in charm and led by the magnetic Lee Pace, Pushing Daisies is one afterlife comedy that was gone too soon.
I hate secrets, too.
What? You love secrets. You want to marry secrets and have little half-secret, half-human babies.
Number 4. Russian Doll. The Groundhog Day-style Death Day time loop has been seen before, notably in the Blumhouse horror comedy Happy Death Day.
So I'm just supposed to keep dying until I figure out who my killer is? That's your genius plan.
Do you have a better idea?
But if you want to see it taken to some strange new places, check out this Netflix original.
Nothing in this world is easy, except pissing in the shower.
Hi, Ruth.
Russian Doll throws viewers, and protagonist Nadia Volkov, into a continuous time loop that always ends with her death and begins with her resurrection. Star Natasha Lyonne slides into leading lady territory with a bang, a sly one-liner, and a freshly lit cigarette. It's the role she was born to play, and a character that you can't help but fall in love with.
Who loves drugs more than me?
You? Nobody.
Yeah. Who loves orgies more than you?
As Nadia tries to figure out why her life has been turned inside out, viewers are treated to a hilarious analysis of death, friendship, and the dangers of staircases. Enjoy your new addiction.
I forgot that you're turned off by chivalry, but it's sweet.
Yeah, well, so is cyanide.
Number 3, Beetlejuice.
I lived through the Black Plague, and I had a pretty good time during that. I've seen The Exorcist about 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it. Not to mention the fact that you're talking to a dead guy. Now, what do you think? You think I'm qualified?
We promise not to say this supernatural trickster's name too many times. The brainchild of director Tim Burton, whose darkly gothic style of filmmaking has led to the creation of some of cinema's most iconic characters, Beetlejuice is about a recently deceased couple who enlist the help of a pesky poltergeist to help drive a family out of their country home.
We're very unhappy.
What did you expect? You're dead.
The film is awash in the kinds of bizarre set pieces and oddball characters that have become the director's trademark. At the heart of it all is Michael Keaton's titular bio-exorcist, who is equal parts hilarious, surreal, and evil. This is one afterlife comedy that should be on everybody's must-watch list.
Of course they're dead, they're ghosts.
No, I mean, they're gone. Split out of here. Afterlife kids. Deceased.
Are you a ghost too?
I'm the ghost with the most, babe.
Number 2, Forever.
So we're just gonna have to make the best of it. All right?
No, I don't want to be on your team. Why don't you go back to the lodge and sit on your old fat ass?
Why don't you suck my
From the mind of Master of None co-creator Alan Yang, and starring Saturday Night Live alumni Fred Armisen and Maya Rudolph, this Amazon comedy has got a lot going for it right off the bat. The show revolves around Oscar and June, a recently deceased married couple who discover that the problems they faced on Earth have followed them to the afterlife.
Hey, I have this totally crazy idea that I've been meaning to talk to you about.
Okay.
What if we went somewhere else this year?
Forever doesn't shy away from the more dramatic aspects of Oscar and June's situation, but there are enough laughs to keep it from feeling overly morose.
What does that mean?
I just mean you never seem like the biggest fan of little kids, that's all.
I love kids. I get along great with them.
Well, every time we talked about having them, you never seemed that interested.
Armisen and Rudolph strike a fine balance between the melancholy of their struggling marriage and the absurdity of their new situation.
This is extremely frustrating.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Just because you guys fumbled the ball is no reason.
Joseph, it's gone. Your body doesn't exist any longer.
But that isn't my fault.
Please, Max, they don't have a football team in heaven, so God couldn't make me first string.
Come back soon.
What a terrible thing to say in a hospital.
You're like an AM radio that someone shoved in my head and I can't turn off.
You don't think she was completely unclassy and predatory?
Those happen to be 2 of men's favorite things.
Why don't you just date a pit bull?
Maybe I will.
When a man's jawbone drops off, it's time to reassess the situation.
Number 1, The Good Place.
Oh, did I have a purse? No, I'm dead. Right. Okay.
Starring Kristen Bell and featuring a hilarious supporting cast that includes Ted Danson, William Fitzgerald Harper, Manny Jacinto, Darcy Carden, and Jamila Jamil. The Good Place is one comedy everybody should be watching.
The thought of you 4 amazing people living next to each other for eternity it brings joy to my heart.
The show focuses on Eleanor Shellstrop, played by Belle, a selfish and morally bankrupt saleswoman who dies after being hit by a truck.
He was struck and killed by a mobile billboard truck advertising an erectile dysfunction pill called Engorgulate.
However, in a twist of fate, she's sent to heaven instead of hell. The laugh-a-minute sitcom puts a unique spin on the afterlife genre that's clever and entertaining.
We're okay. You can't die here.
Come on. I mean, even you have to admit these guys are psycho.
Nominated for Best Television Series, Musical, or Comedy at the 2019 Golden Globes, it would appear that The Good Place has cemented itself as one of television's hottest comedies.
Right now, you have made the insane choice to ignore the person who is literally trying to save you from eternal damnation.
No, yeah. I'm listening. Are we sure we should be paying attention to these guys? It's like, who died and left Aristotle in charge of ethics?
Plato.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.